also for the nation of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. And you know that Muslims are normally used, referred to as the son of Ibrahim, or Ibrahim is the father of Muslims, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam.
I'm not cutting it short. Where does it get its name? Because we understood that Ismail's mom is called Hajara.
Yes.
Now, does it mean that Hajj itself, the name Hajj emanates from her, or?
No. Hajara is her. It's not her.
Hajj Kubra.
Al-Hajju, in fact, in Arabic language, literally means qasd, means when you aim a particular direction. Like what you say, aqsid bil-kama. I aim to go to bil-kama. I am now going toward bil-kama direction. Ahujju ila bil-kama, for instance. So it means to aim to a particular direction. That's the meaning of, that's the literal meaning of Hajj. But then it became, and just call it pilgrimage. But technically it means a particular act of ibadah for which the believer will have to, embark upon a trip, whether a short one or a long one, depending on the location. But you have to embark upon a trip on a special mission to perform a special act of ibadah. That is the literal meaning of Hajj. And that is why you see even the word Hajj is shared by Muslims and Christians and others who have similar missions. Like when people travel from here to Rome, for instance, or to Jerusalem. If you were to refer to this story in Arabic language, you apply the word Hajj, pilgrimage, or pilgrims. So that is the technical meaning of the word Hajj. Now, because, and then this is the situation now, but because it is a unique act of ibadah, it involves, certain activities which are well defined in Islamic law, and then therefore the term becomes, strictly technical, scientific as far as Islam is concerned. That for Islam, what you call Hajj, in the actual sense of the term, is that special divine journey that Muslims embark upon once a year to Makkah al-Mukarram, which is also mandatory once upon a Muslim in a Muslim's lifetime. That is from where it derives the word al-Hajj, and that is why the person who is performing the Hajj is called al-Hajj or al-Hajjah, the pilgrim. Pilgrim means the person who aims that particular direction to perform a particular act of ibadah. Al-Hajj, and that is why, and it is from this word that now the local name of Alaji or Aja is derived from. Because if you are in Makkah, particularly during Hajj, anybody they call it Al-Hajj, Al-Hajj, Al-Hajj. For the male pilgrim say Hajj, for the female say Al-Hajjah. You understand? Meaning the person performing the Hajj.
Nigerians will call it Alaja.
Okay, good. Meaning the person performing the Hajj. It was never meant anyway to be a title, but it so happened that in other Islamic communities outside Makkah, and immediately outside Makkah, even in countries like Sudan and the Arabian, the North Africans, it has now become a special title that because you perform the Hajj once, then you are called Al-Hajji or Alaji. You understand? Or Al-Hajj or Aja. For example, it becomes a special social title, or if you call it a social cultural title. When it was not meant to be a title, you understand. But because of the uniqueness of this act of ibadah and the high position that it enjoys, it occupies in Islam as a religion and a way of life, and the high social status, social privilege that it enjoys among Muslims, and the central position that it occupies in the hearts of Muslims. So when anybody who comes now from Makkah, at least as part of let's say, as part of, or not, in order for you not to be completely cut off from that important mission, probably people continue to be called Alaji or Aja and so on and so forth. So now it has become a very, very important social title, but it was not meant to be so, though. If you know, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's part of Islam as well.
Okay. Ustaz, if I may ask, Hajj, was it performed before the coming of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Do people go to Mecca and perform Hajj as because the whole Allah said in the Quran in fasting, kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, that He prescribed it upon us as those before us. It means before the this generation of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people before Prophet Muhammad were fasting. So Hajj also, I don't know whether the same thing applies. Not
the same way that Islam prescribes, or not the same way that Islam institutes. Like I said before, it used to be a practice of the Arabs of the peninsula, particularly the Meccans. that they converge on where the Kaaba is for certain religious activities. And those religious activities, like I said before, were based on idol worshipping, ibadatul asnam, as you may call it. So Hajj...
That was before Nabi Ibrahim came?
Before the advent of Islam. But the way it is known today technically, and before it is known today, religiously, as far as Islam is concerned, it never happened before. But of course, like I explained, in the form of people coming to convert, in certain places in Mecca, like the market occurs where they would convert for business or trade activities, and some of, because of the, and then on the other hand, some of the tribes of the Quraysh, particularly the Quraysh clan and others, they used to revere and respect Mecca, because remember, the history of Mecca, the history of the Kaaba, the history of this place can be traced to the very moment that Hajara alayhi salam found the water coming out, Zamzam coming out, from the foot or the feet of her child Ismail alayhi salam.
Yeah, because after asking this question, my mind went to this verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, in which Allah says, وَأَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ أَنْ طَهِرَ بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْعَاكِفِينَ. So that tahira means to clean the house.
Yes.
Now, clean it of what? Is it from dirt or from idol worship whatsoever?
What you need to remember, yes, it's a very good issue that you are listening, is that Ibrahim alayhi salam was a prophet of God. Therefore, his mission was a divine mission. The religion that he brought was a revealed religion. It was not based on idol worshipping. Therefore, the first mission of clearing the Kaaba and the surroundings was to clear the place from idol worshipping.
So it means he didn't build the Kaaba. He found the Kaaba.
No, he didn't build the Kaaba. In fact, there are reports that the Kaaba was originally built by the Malaikas.
We'll have a program on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So when he cleaned the house?
Well, he cleaned the house not necessarily physically but spiritually by trying to hold people together to worship only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to make sure that all people stop idol worshipping. But you know why it is important to be very careful when it comes to addressing this issue from the Islamic perspective is that the institution of Hajj as a social, cultural, religious, and a political institution is unique. It's unique. And that is why I did not want to, sort of open up to that direction, because as you know very well, and you've read from that ayah, even after Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, the phenomenon of idol worshipping came back to Makkah.
Yeah.
Up to the time of, even the time of, why Prophet Muhammad sallam, in the early days of Islam, he found it very, very tough to convince Makkah to the
in fact, they sent him away.
So much so that they sent him away. He had to migrate from Makkah to Medina. But the way it is now, that's a very, very important political, social, cultural institution. It's an Islamic institution. And one has to remember this. Okay. And therefore, if you are there, you have to do things in an Islamic way. And it is therefore important for everybody going to Makkah to know what Islam says about that mission and do things in accordance with the Islam of Islam.
Okay. Doctor, that is very, very important. Now, is there different kinds of Hajj? Do you have a greater Hajj or lesser Hajj whatsoever?
Maybe greater Hajj or lesser Hajj, but let me put it this way. There are forms of Hajj, because what you may call a lesser Hajj probably will not constitute Hajj. Hajj, like any other act of ibadah, it's fara'id, the obligatory components.
And what I mean is
before that, but the forms now, there are three forms of Hajj. If you are referring to the forms of Hajj.
Now, for example, you have Umrah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Yes.
Yeah.
No, in fact, now I understand what you want to say. Well, I don't know whether the terminology, whether it is scientifically precise or correct to refer to Umrah as lesser pilgrimage. But okay, maybe if you use Hajj in the general sense, if you're using Hajj in the general sense to refer to Umrah. But anyway, yes, you're right. You have Al-Hajj and Umrah, because both of them, the two activities constitute one thing, is pilgrimage to Makkah. But the difference is now, Umrah is not mandatory. And Umrah can take place anytime throughout the year.
Anytime?
Throughout the year.
Not a specific time?
No, not a specific time. Even during the time of the Hajj, there are forms of Hajj that go along with Umrah. But of course, during the days of the Hajj, and the months of the Hajj are the month of Shawwal, that's the immediate after Ramadan, up to the end of the Hajj period, the Hajj season.